Welcome back to the Urantia book. With so many different philosophies and theologies in the universe, is there a way to unify them? This book is able to do that, but it is in a way which is about unity, not uniformity. It's leaving so much up to the individual to have their own personal relationship with deity and divinity. It points out, goes through the man's different religions, your Hinduisms, your Buddhisms, everything. And it says, all faith sons and daughters of God are all on the same team. So all your Muslims are all on the same team. Because not only is it saying that this is the same team for the planet Earth, but it's also the same team for all beings in the universe of universes, trillions of inhabited planets. So your Muslim person, all under the same God, Christian person, Jewish person, even your Eastern mystics and your Buddhists who are believing that there's no God or that God is more of a force, an all-present Atma. When they reach the next phase of their universe existence, when they're resurrected and an angel sits them down and says, you know, this guy Buddha that you've been making all these statues to and worshiping and praying, it's actually just God. That Buddhist person is already so spiritually advanced, and same with the Eastern mystic and the Hindu. They've already taken this leap of faith to believe in something called spirituality. But when they just say, oh yeah, by the way, it's just a God, you know, when they explain that to them, they're going to be so profoundly impressed by this resurrection of personality, which they thought was actually just supposed to be a dissolution of personality and into this Atman ether. They're going to be so impressed by the fact of their resurrection as their personality. They're going to be on the same team right away, right? And now even atheists are potentially on the same team of believing in God. So that's why we show love for them, because that atheist person, that's potentially going to be the most advanced being in the universe when they have a change of heart. When something doesn't go their way and they're in that gutter face down and they say, geez, you know what, God, if you're out there, show me a sign. And they're given a sign, they could just go running away with it and just be completely advanced at that point. So they're potentially on the team. Now, they haven't decided that they want to be on the team yet, so they're not on the team by their own choice, but because they're potentially on the team, we show them love. Right? So this isn't a fellowship of believers only. This is love for all beings because of that potential aspect. We don't know what they're going to choose, what's in their heart. So now, having said that, the mystery of God is still a thing. We're kind of jumping around a little bit in our readings here, folks. So we have... we're on page 26. Even though that this book is 2,000 pages of revelatory information, there's still so much mystery out there in the universe. Because if you knew everything there is to know today, then what would tomorrow hold? So we're going to look at the mystery of God, and it's going to reveal the most profound mystery that... Of all the mysteries of God, there is one that is most profound, and we actually take part in it. So remember, this is about unity, not formity, and this is where the unity comes in. The mystery of God. Let's see here. Okay. The infinity of the perfection of God is such that it eternally constitutes him mystery. Eternally. And the greatest of all the unfathomable mysteries of God is the phenomenon of the divine indwelling of the mortal minds. That is the greatest mystery, that we are indwelt by a fragment of God. You're atheist, you're Buddhist, you're whoever, they are indwelt by this in their mind. Okay? That's impossible for us to understand. Even advanced beings can't understand the manner in which the universal Father sojourn with the creatures of time is the most profound of all universe mysteries. The divine presence in the mind of man is the mystery of mysteries. We are so far removed from God, yet he is so close to us in that nature. The physical bodies of mortals are, quote, the temples of God. That must be something from the Bible. Notwithstanding that the sovereign creator sons come near the creatures of their inhabited worlds and draw all men to themselves. Now, the sovereign creator sons, that's your Jesus of Nazareth. But this book points out there's many, many different worlds and universes which need a Jesus of Nazareth type figure at their head. They call them the Order of Michael. And draw all men to themselves, though they stand at the door of consciousness and, quote, knock. This is a really great line. And delight to come in to all who will open the doors of their hearts. Let's read that again, folks. Okay, they stand at the door of consciousness. That is where this interaction, transaction, that's where this choice is taking place. So all of the people who are all astir about consciousness and what is consciousness and maybe consciousness is God. Well, no, it's not God, but that is the realm in which we are to make this merger in this choice. The divinity, the divine are knocking on the door. They're not in hiding or anything like that. Your spirit, every moment of every day, your mystery monitor, as they call it, is literally knocking on your door, saying, are you going to open? Are you going to open? Even if you do open, it's still going to say, are you going to? Every single choice, you have to open the door. All right? We're dealing with perfection here. So if you really want to advance to your utmost, your highest potential during this life, then it's choice by choice. Okay? You can't just say, I opened the door, I'm a faith, son, and God, and now let me go out and shoot somebody in the face. No, it has to be every single choice that you make. Let me go out and do this terrible dietary choice. No, every choice. So, but the pace belongs to you. So that's the breaking of the shackles. You might choose to go at a slower pace, and that's fine. You have that option. But wouldn't you rather get on with it now and save yourself out of the hardships that come with making those ungodly choices? Be it a dietary thing, you're going to have the medical bills, the sickness. You could be laying on the bed saying, oh, I wish I had done better diet, and I wish I didn't, eat myself into diabetes and everything. You're not destroying your spiritual birthright if you do, but you're delaying the process. Remember, delay is not avoidance. It is merely delay. So you can delay for as long as you want, as long as you're a faith son and daughter. But wouldn't you want to get on with it? It's knocking, and it will delight to come into who will all open the doors of their hearts. And that's what it's all about. That's how you can, it's like a metaphor to use that word, but that solves the mystery. Although there does exist this intimate personal communion between the Creator's sons and their mortal creatures, nevertheless, mortal men have something from God himself. All right, so the Creator's sons are with you, but it's God, the top dog, which actually dwells within them. Their bodies are the temples thereof, right? So it's you don't want to poison that. When you are through down here, when your course has been run in temporary form on earth, when your trial trip in the flesh is finished, when the dust that composes the mortal tabernacle, quote, returns to the earth whence it came, then it is revealed the indwelling, quote, spirit shall return to God who gave it. There sojourns within each mortal being of this planet a fragment of God, a part and parcel of divinity. It is not yet yours by right of possession, but it is designedly intended to be one with you if you survive the mortal existence. So that paragraph is revealing the aspect that there's this fragment of God, the mystery monitor, the thought adjuster, various words that they give it. We simply have been calling it our spirit. But this is detailing what it actually is. Okay? And now it's of a moral being that is important. That goodness, truth, beauty, right? Moral being. a parcel of divinity, right? It's not yet yours, but it will, if you choose and you survive the mortal existence. This mortal existence will extend even beyond this life. You'll get resurrected based on just the mercy, even if you don't choose it, but you're still mortal, as in you can still destroy your spiritual birthright. You've just been resurrected based on mercy. You haven't chosen to destroy your spiritual birthright, but you also haven't chosen to, merge with your fragment of divinity yet. It's designed only if you survive. If you survive that mortal existence, and how do you survive it? Faith. That's what Jesus of Nazareth taught. That's what this book is teaching. But remember, within that eternity of faith, we progress through mastery, self-control, self-restraint, self-discipline, learning. All of those things is how we ascend in mastery. It's not just one and done. We are constantly confronted with the mystery of God. We are nonplussed by this increasing unfolding of the endless panorama of the truth of his infinite goodness, endless mercy, matchless wisdom, and superb character. Nonplussed, people. It's just a way of life, that there's just amazing things constantly streaming at these beings who are on this ascension plan, and they can and will be for you too as you continue on. Nonplussed is a great word. It's just the way that it is. Unlike on this planet, we would be plussed by it if we saw greatness and divinity streaming like, oh, I won the lottery. Oh my God, I can't believe it. They're so plussed. But if you really know, what the universe is all about, you're just, oh, I won the lottery. Yeah, figures. And that's just a crude example, okay? The divine mystery consists in the inherent difference which exists between the finite and the infinite, the temporal and the eternal, the time-space creature and the universal creator, the material and the spiritual, the imperfection of man and the perfection of paradise deity. There's an inherent difference there. We evolved from animals. We have this tendency. Put me in a dumpster at McDonald's that go crazy like an animal would, right? McDonald's is basically just a big dumpster anyways, but you go in there and you're crazy about it, right? I know from my own personal experience that, whatever junk food, garbage food, and that's why the dietary illnesses are the leading causes of death on the planet. Your heart disease, all that, okay? The God of universal love unfailingly manifests himself to every one of his creatures up to the fullness of that creature's capacity to spiritually grasp the qualities of the divine truth. We have a large capacity. We have potential for maximum, grasping of this beauty and goodness. So we have the potential to not just be an animal in the dumpster at McDonald's, which is a good metaphor for this entire planet. To every spirit, unfortunately, it didn't have to be that way. And if you look at a normal inhabited world, it's basically like what we consider a paradise, but this is what our early spiritual beings chose, right? They went into rebellion, and now this is the status of things. But that doesn't have to affect you personally and individually. So remember, this is good news. This is breaking of the shackles. This isn't doom and gloom, but it is acknowledging the reality of the world that we live in. It's worse than a dumpster at McDonald's. It's a cosmic prison world. People are victims, It might be okay for you. Maybe you're not in some bunker somewhere, getting bombed or whatever. But this is what we have to change. We have to wake up. We have to change our hearts. And we have to realize that we're not going to do it. We're not going to change this world unless we accept the truth and the reality of God. To every spirit being and to every mortal creature in every sphere and on every world of the universe of universes, the universal Father reveals all of his gracious and divine self that can be discerned or comprehended by such spirit beings and by such mortal creatures. Huge right there. Well, I mean, the whole entire book is huge, but it's all about comprehension. Keep that in mind, even when you're reading this book. God is no respecter of persons, We learned that the other day, because if he was, then that means he would disrespect a different person. Either spiritual or material, they're all equal in the eyes of God. The divine presence which any child of the universe enjoys at any given moment is limited only by the capacity of such a creature to receive and discern the spirit actualities of the supermaterial world. So open-minded, you want to open your capacity for this, and it will be shown to you. Another good quote, another good one-liner: awareness is queen to revelation. This book is revelation, but without awareness, like king and queen, just like a metaphor that they go together, right? Without the, awareness, this is just a tightly shut block of wood. So you have to activate it. As in reality and human spiritual experience, God is not a mystery, but when an attempt is made to make plain the realities of the spirit world to the physical minds of the material order, mystery appears. Mystery is so subtle and so profound that only the faith grasp of the God-knowing mortal can achieve the philosophic miracle of a recognition of the infinite by the finite. See, that's a philosophic miracle. So subtle and so profound. See, it has to be a faith grasp. This is where you start to get into this thing called Urantia moda, which is a super philosophic concept. It's like taking philosophy to the next level by sprinkling in a dash of spirituality, a dash of faith. But then you can have a philosophic understanding. So it's not saying philosophy should be thrown in the garbage and we should just do blind faith without reason. It's saying you have to up your philosophy to the level of Urantia moda by sprinkling in a dash of faith grasp. And then it will make sense, okay? Because otherwise, it's impossible. And when you do, it's a miracle, right? Holy shit, I'm a finite being, yet I can recognize the infinite, the discernment of the eternal God by the evolving mortals of the material worlds of time and space. So, all right. That is the mystery of God. Remember, it's about what's the mystery? That we can recognize that God is a reality, even though we're so far removed. And not only a reality, but that he dwells within me and dwells within every single other person. So even though this world is backwards in a cosmic prison world right now, it doesn't have to stay that way. Remember, we can change this. We could wake up tomorrow, even in your own personal life. You could wake up tomorrow and change that baby, whether it be your vices and getting rid of them, toxic relationships. Maybe you're the toxic one in the relationship, whatever, right? And so when pointing out the flaws of the world, we need point no further than our own noses. This isn't me downcasting or downtrodden to anybody, because I've experienced it all in my own life. I went through all of that, but then I decided that I wanted to become a 100%er, and I'm not perfect at it. And I still make mistakes all the time, but at least that is my utmost goal. My priorities are right, and it already has started to change my life, change my world, everything. And I know it can for you too. So thanks for checking out the video. Please like and subscribe. Appreciate everybody that's already involved, and let's keep the ball rolling here, folks, and take care.